sides. Gentlemen, we went over the rules in the dressing room. I want to caution you right now to keep this fight clean at all times, protect yourself at all times, and what I say you must obey. Good luck, Minnesota. Touch him up.
This episode of the podcast is being recorded on June 12th, 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Have Fun on the Indies. I'm your host, Abe, and you can catch us everywhere. Underneath your bed, in your closet, looking through your window at night, or you can catch us on social media. You can catch us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. There, you'll find our links to all of our podcast hosts. We have the monkeys over here, the tech monkeys, posting all of our podcasts on Vimeo, YouTube, and SoundCloud. There you can listen to episodes 1 through now. And speaking of now, come on in, ladies and gentlemen. How's life treating you, huh? Is it giving you lots of hugs and kisses? Is it being good to you? I hope it is. Because lately, life has been jabbing me in the face over and over again. But you know what we do at Have Fun on the Indies when life jabs us in the face? We grab a big juicy steak and we put that son of a bitch right on that bruise. And we keep on trucking. And we keep on trucking till the fucking wheels fall off. So with that being said, let me play a little audio clip of what I think of you guys that shows and summarizes exactly how I feel about you guys. Give me one quick second here. Here we go. It's a quick clip just to show you.
I hate you people. You fucking suck to me. You don't deserve to be in the business that I've been in for so long. You are complete and utter fucking trash. And I'm sorry. That's my opinion, and I'm entitled to it.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Jim Cornette. I just needed an excuse to play a clip, so I did that whole little gig there. But quite frankly, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Jim Cornette is probably in the top 3 of best professional wrestling podcasts running today. Bar none. It's right up there, in my opinion, with Stone Cold's. It's right up there with Chris Jericho's. Those guys go deep in the business. Those guys are hell of entertaining, especially because it came from an era that I came from. But Jim Cornette's, in my opinion, takes the fucking cake. I barely found out about Jim Cornette's podcast about a year and a half ago. And for this past year and a half, I have been thoroughly entertained. And I know sometimes he says some shit that, you know, he goes off the cuff and he says some shit that hurts somebody's feelings, or he says something outlandish that, you know, he probably shouldn't have said. But all in all, the whole package, he's got it going on. I do understand that some of his episodes on his podcast, the Jim Cornette Experience, they go super deep into like 60s, 70s, and 80s professional wrestling, which I've watched a lot of that stuff. I used to watch it when I was in wrestling, but I can't really watch those too much these days. Not too much. I have way too much boxing and MMA and all this other shit that I watch to be watching too much of that. But if I was a professional wrestling student, I probably would watch it. It'll probably teach me how to fucking act in the back. You know, all his stories, you might learn something about how to behave as a fucking professional wrestler these days. His podcast rules. I love it. And y'all should give it a chance. Actually give it a chance. He might put you off when you first listen to it, but give it a chance. I'm going to continue to listen to it. It's great to me, even though he hates on things so fucking bad. Like, he completely hated on AEW Double or Nothing. Hated on everything about it. And I don't understand why. It was a good show. Saying it was not a good show, it makes you wonder. All I know is that he was underrated. Jim Cornette was underrated as a manager, in my opinion. And they never used his talents as much as they should have in any company. Yeah, I know he's had big opportunities in companies, but I think he could have been bigger. That's my opinion, because he straight up does the best promos on that fucking podcast. Like I said, I don't listen to all of the ones that go deep into like the 60s wrestling, but when he goes off on tangents, they're still some of the best in the business, bar fucking none. And speaking about the best in the business, this past weekend had pretty fucking crazy pro wrestling. One, they had fucking New Japan Pro Wrestling Dominion, which was awesome. The whole show from beginning to end, even before, during the hype when they were showing all the highlight packages and everything, it had that big atmosphere. It had the big event feeling. It felt important. It felt like shit was going to go down, and it did. There was surprises up the fucking yin-yang. And the biggest surprise of the whole thing, in my opinion, I'm going to make you wait for. First, I almost just blurted it all out. The main event was good at New Japan Pro Wrestling Dominion 2019. It was Chris Jericho versus Okada. Okada went over clean. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. It was awesome. Awesome match. Chris Jericho attacks him at the end. Hits him over and over as only Jericho can do. It was beautiful. Jericho always does those attacks hella badass. And in the middle of this attack, Tanahashi interferes, gets in Jericho's way so he doesn't keep fucking up with Okada. It was all well done. They knocked it out of the ballpark with this one. Jon Moxley was fucking over as hell. I don't think he was at the beginning of the show. If I remember correctly, he was at the beginning of the show, and yeah, he was fucking so over, and he didn't do anything crazy. He didn't drive anybody on their neck or anything, and he was over. And he was more over when he grabbed the mic and said something about G1. This whole event was very G1-ish. It was like a whole setup for the G1, and he said G1, and everybody fucking popped. That guy's living the dream. He's getting to wrestle wherever he wants, whenever he wants. He gets paid for it. He's still fucking popular. To be honest with you, I didn't even know he was that popular in WWE. He's so fucking popular. He's right up there with Omega. 100% he's right up there with Omega. He's just as popular as Kenny fucking Omega. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that. Well, he was over. And then my favorite part of the whole fucking night happened. The part where I marked out the fucking most. The return of Kenta to Japan. Yes, Kenta. Not Hideo Itami, but Kenta. The guy who would smash people's faces in with his kicks. If some of you guys aren't familiar with Kenta and his old work, please, I beg you, go watch him in Noah. Go watch him in Noah and tell me what you think. Because before he went to the WWE, he made one hell of a name for himself in Japan. And it was awesome. So he's back in Egypt. He's back in Japan. He's not in Noah this time. He's in the biggest company over there, which is New Japan Pro Wrestling. And he came out and he grabbed the mic and he said something along the lines of his spirit led him there. And he wants to show everybody Kenta's professional wrestling. Oh, and it's going to be fucking glorious. It's going to be so great. Because I'm begging and I'm hoping he brings that old school strong style. Because it will mix in so well with this strong style evolved stuff. Just like, what's his face? I forgot his name, but the guy who had his fucking skull smashed. You know, the guy who introduced him at this fucking event, which I cannot remember his name by the life of me. If certain friends were here, they'd kill me. Anyways, I'm not going to sit here and look it all up. However, Kenta was a surprise. Kenta was a shocker. Kenta is what I'm looking forward to. New Japan Pro Wrestling is still fucking surviving. And this show proved it. And it's crazy because a lot of people said some of the people that were hindered by all this AEW stuff was New Japan. They had all their giant stars taken away. And I'm kind of shocked because they're, you know, making their way through this thing and they're building their own stars. You got Moxley. You got fucking everybody. You got everybody there that knows what the fuck they're doing. They're seasoned. New Japan's killing it still. I'm surprised. I wish I had more time to watch it, to be honest with you. So we move on to the next thing, which is they might as well have fucking called it WrestleMania 2019 Part 2. WWE Super Showdown in Saudi Arabia. WWE just picking up those fucking bucketfuls of money and bucketfuls of money and bucketfuls of money over and over. And who can blame them? And it was a good show. It seriously did feel like WrestleMania. It was promoted as if it was fucking WrestleMania. And they had a shitload of matches. The only sad part is that the one thing that everybody remembers is the Bill Goldberg Undertaker stuff. And the reason why everybody remembers it is because of how bad it was. It was a very bad match. And I don't know what to say. I mean, first off, I don't understand why everybody's blaming Goldberg and not putting some blame on The Undertaker. But you know what's even fucking worse? Is that everybody's blaming the workers to begin with. Why the fuck are you blaming the workers? You want to blame somebody? Blame the fucking company that put on this match. You're going to dangle that much goddamn money in front of The Undertaker and Goldberg and expect them not to take it? Give me a break. And everybody piles on the workers. Oh, you know, they sucked. They're too old. Blame the fucking company for one, Marks. Two, Goldberg did fuck up a lot. Goldberg was never known as a good technical wrestler. He was never known as a guy that was a good in-ring worker. Never was. Even when he was at the top of the heap in the late 90s. He just wasn't. But in this match, Undertaker had some of it to do too. Because while Goldberg fucked up the majority of it, I did see The Undertaker grab Goldberg, tombstone pile drive him, and Goldberg's head literally bouncing off the canvas. As in, not safely tucked, but completely spiked head first a la Owen fucking Hart. And that was Undertaker's doing too. So everybody's shitting on Goldberg, saying Goldberg's unsafe, Goldberg's unsafe. At the top of their lungs, everybody can't wait to shit on Goldberg. And I'm not even a fucking Goldberg fan. But goddamn, have some fucking knowledge of this shit, people. So what? So Undertaker drops Goldberg on his head first, completely unsafe. Like I said, a la Owen Hart. So why is nobody calling him unsafe? Is Undertaker unsafe? Why aren't they calling him unsafe? Since he dropped Goldberg on his head. Hey, as a matter of fact, real quick, why don't they call fucking Kenny Omega unsafe when he picked up Chris Jericho for the one-winged angel and dropped him on his fucking head to where Jericho comes out a few nights later and says, you know what? I'm never taking that move again. I'm never taking that move again. It hurt me for a long time. I don't like it. Huh? Is Kenny Omega unsafe? Exactly. People just like to shit on Goldberg. And like, I will reiterate myself, I am not a Goldberg fan. I really am not. But god damn, that guy's getting all kinds of shit. And it's one thing when the fans do it. Because professional wrestling fans can be fucking assholes. Some of the worst I've ever seen. And I'm a fan myself, but goddamn, guys, you have to admit it. There's a lot of negativity with the fucking fans. They're never happy. Spoiled as fuck. I'm sorry. It's just the way it goes. Spoiled as fuck. Someone has to stand up for the workers. Because nobody else will. Because nobody else wants to ruffle feathers. Because they won't get booked the next fucking show. So I'm just going to say shit. So, Bill Goldberg. Everybody's shitting on him. And like I said, fine. When the fans do it, fine. It's expected. But man, it's always a little weird when you see another worker do it. That is kind of gross, to be honest with you. And the fact that workers will shit on each other in this way, and I'll get to what I'm talking about in a second, but the fact that workers will shit on each other this way is the reason why all these fucking promoters can stick their fucking thumb up these wrestlers' asses and pay them peanuts on the indies, is because they have this kind of fucking attitude. They can't even stick together, so the promoters take advantage, pay them whatever the fuck they want, pick and choose who they want to push so that they can put up against other people. It's ridiculous. However, that's not the point. The point is, it's always weird when workers can't stick together this way. And as Goldberg's fucking up, even before Goldberg had this match, Matt Riddle from NXT was just talking all kinds of shit. And I don't know, I mean, Matt Riddle's super talented. 100% Matt Riddle's super fucking talented. We all know it. He's been in this business a very, very small amount of time. And I'll admit it, he's already better than Bill Goldberg. In the ring. In the ring. He's already than Bill Goldberg. But isn't it a little weird you're going to shit on Goldberg this much? You know, Goldberg did wrestle in front of over 50,000 people on a Nitro. You know, Goldberg did wrestle for one of the most powerful companies at the time, one of the most powerful companies in the history of professional wrestling as a main event guy, and held their championship more than once. Fucking Goldberg wrestled for a huge TV station back in the day. Huge TV station that put a lot of money into him and that he made a lot of money for. And Matt Riddle, as good as he is in the ring, he's not on that level yet. He just isn't. He has not done a speck of what Goldberg has done. And that's not talking shit because he's super talented. I like his charisma. I like his wrestling. He can do it. I'm sure one day he might as well fucking do it. But he hasn't done it. He hasn't done it. So why would you talk shit like that? I would feel weird about that. But here's some of the stuff he says. Even before the Super Showdown went down, even before then, Matt Riddle was already talking shit. He put up a tweet before the show showing that Goldberg blocked him on Instagram or Twitter or wherever the fuck. But he blocked him on one of those social media sites. And he put on there the picture of Goldberg blocking him. And he put, I can't wait to watch you wrestle Friday. Something along the lines of fucking Goldberg sucks. Already. And the fight hasn't even started. The hate's already there. Then, as the match, before the match even starts, he's already talking shit. He's already talking shit because Goldberg does this thing where he slams his head on the door or a locker or anything like that to make it look like he's getting amped up to go out and fight. He makes it look like it's a fight. It might be corny nowadays. I understand. It's not corny to me, though. But it might be corny nowadays to most of these fans now. But back then, it worked. And it was good. And it's what's making him all this money. And it's what they're paying him to fucking do. Well, Matt Riddle is already shitting on it, saying, oh, good job, Goldberg. The match hasn't even started. And you're already bleeding. Already with the negativity. Then, halfway through the match, oh, Goldberg fucks up a leg lock. Good job, Goldberg. We get it. You're the MMA dude. You were in MMA. And I just don't understand it. Goldberg comes out with a tweet of his own and explains himself or tries to explain himself. Knocked myself out and thought I could finish. Love my fans but let you down. Everyone else that found pleasure, hope you're happy. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with Matt Riddle? Why would you talk all that shit like that? I'm sure most people here are going to say, oh, it's just hype. It's just so that he can get his name out there. But at another wrestler's expense in that way? To me, that's fucking shady. And that's the perfect word to describe it. I mean, I don't know what the fuck else to say. You know? It's gross. And I wish wrestlers wouldn't do that to each other as much. I know it's a competitive environment, and this shit, people don't play nice, and that's understandable, but God's sakes, have some fucking locker room etiquette, wouldn't you? At the end of this whole thing, Matt Riddle says, and I quote, "You're absolutely the worst wrestler in the business, bro. And that's not an opinion, that's a fact." I guess, you know, and hopefully Matt Riddle does great things. I hope he really does. Because he hasn't done what Goldberg's done, and that's just the way it goes. I mean, what else can you say? I was gonna review the GCW Tournament of Survival, but I haven't watched it yet, ladies and gentlemen. There's been so much fucking shit to watch. It's insane. So I'm going to review that later this summer, sometime before the summer's over, because to me, summers are death matches. So I'm going to review that, and whenever they have their CZW has Tournament of Death, I'll do those. Just not yet. I'll do them sometime during the summer for sure. So next, what are we going to go on next, ladies and gentlemen, in the pro wrestling world? Oh, yeah, I seen that. Jim Cornette was about to get fucking burned at the stake with the comments he made about that transgender person at AEW Double or Nothing. Twitter just went after him, blasting him. Yeah, I guess what he said was fucked up, but goddamn, you know, I think sometimes people go too far. Like he said it himself. Why is everybody getting so upset? Why you're in the wrestling business? Why are you getting your feelings hurt? If that's hurting your fucking feelings, what's gonna happen when WWE tells you your shit? You're gonna go and commit suicide? I mean, holy fuck. Plus, at the end of the day, it's just Jim Cornette. What are you guys doing? Why is everybody so fucking pissed off? And it's even worse because then you have Sami Callihan spitting in Jim Cornette's face. And it's like, I get where you're coming from. you're trying to stand up for everybody and fuck Jim Cornette. He talks shit about me too, right? That's why Sami Callihan, I think is his name, from TNA. Let me see here. It is Sami Callihan. Okay. Sami Callihan, who's, you know, I don't know what to say. I don't watch the guy a lot. I don't know much of his career. I heard he's good if he's getting booked in all these places. He must be good. He spits in Jim Cornette's face. Why the hell would you do that? Even the guy that Jim Cornette talks shit about even said, I don't give a fuck what people say. It's over with me. I got over it in fucking like a week. Got over it the next day. Who cares? He's telling everybody, who cares? And people are still trying to defend him to the point where Sami Callihan spits in Jim Cornette's face. That was the rumor on the internet. That's what Sami Callihan put out. And you know what Jim Cornette put out? Which is fucking just roasted his ass. Put out a spot that Sami Callihan did where he just decided to fucking hit Eddie Edwards in the face with a baseball bat in a completely weird fucking way. To get the whole description of it, all you gotta do is listen to the Jim Cornette Experience. He'll tell you the whole fucking thing. But literally, it was the most unsafest thing that I've seen somebody do. I don't know who the fuck okayed it. So unsafe. Sami Callihan doesn't know how to, I guess, work it and just hits him in the face. And that same guy who has no regard for people's bodies is the guy who spit in Jim Cornette's face because of some words. Shit's fucking weird. I don't even know what to say. Anyways, I know what to say. We're getting to the end of our pro wrestling segment. And I do have an I'm Gonna Snap this week. This week and next week, it'll be a good one. But let's go to the dirt sheets real quick. Maybe some interesting shit has been going on. All right, let's see here. We're going to start off with PW Insider. Nothing too crazy, it seems. Oh, look at this. AEW signs former WWE star. New match set for Fyter Fest and more. Mike Johnson. Let's see what this is about. All Elite Wrestling announced today that they have officially signed the former Ty Dillinger, Sean Spears. This one shouldn't be a shock given that he worked Double or Nothing and goes way back to Ohio Valley with Cody. That's cool. I've seen that guy before, more than a couple of times. Fyter Fest AEW, I'll be watching, see what's up. Doesn't have as like a big feeling as their real shows though, but I'll watch either way. Austin Aries MLW update. Austin Aries, the guy who apparently has like low-key syndrome to where he should be so much more up the ladder in professional wrestling, but people say his attitude is what keeps him. Oh, so he is going to return to MLW. MLW doing big things apparently lately. They have a badass roster these days. Loki's in it. One of my favorite guys of all time. All right, guys, let's go to Wrestling Inc. Inc.com and see what's up there. Dirt sheet number 2. Let's see here. No. Bad sign for WWE Stomping Grounds attendance. Wonder what that's about. Article by Mark Middleton. Oh, so apparently they haven't sold out yet, so that means fucking the WWE's going under. God, some of these sites hell of exaggerate. There's still tickets for a bunch of seats. I mean, get the fuck out of here. Over-exaggeration. Let's see, the current card is Dolph Ziggler versus Kofi Kingston in a steel cage match. Baron Corbin, Seth Rollins, special referee. Raw Women's title match, Lacey Evans, Becky Lynch. I don't know what these people expect. It'll do well. They always do. And even if it doesn't, it ain't going to make too much of a fucking dent. I think we're going to move on, ladies and gentlemen, to I'm Going to Snap. And this I'm Going to Snap is one I've been holding in for a little bit. You see, I don't know if it was about a month ago almost, or maybe a little more. Rose Namajunas fought Jessica Andrade at a UFC event and lost her championship when she was picked up and slammed on the side of her head/face. And when I started reading this article about this, it was an article that, you know, I was reading, which prompted me to start thinking all these things. And when I got to the end of the article, I looked at the comment section. And in the comments section, I saw a lot of pro wrestling fans talking about how wrestlers land like that all the time. So I investigated a bit more. And it wasn't just in the comment section of that article, but it was on forums. It was on Twitter. I had a friend in real life tell me this. And you want to know what he told me? Oh, but professional wrestlers land like that all the time. See, and that's wrong, because let me run that by you again. Oh, but professional wrestlers land like that all the time. So this I'm going to snap is for these type of pro wrestling fans. For this section of the IWC. So IWC, as the internet wrestling community likes to be called online, look at me. Look at me in the eyes and listen to me. You're an embarrassment. You are what makes professional wrestling look bad. You are what makes me fucking have to defend this shit to people who hear comments like that and figure, oh, that's okay. They all think it's real. They're just wrestling fans. You idiots. Professional wrestling is tough as it is. We don't need you smarks over-exaggerating how tough it is. It makes you look fucking stupid. It makes wrestling look fucking stupid. Yes, professional wrestling is tough. We all know this. You don't have to over-exaggerate. What's next, huh? Being Randy Orton is tougher than going to war as a soldier? Is that what's next? You see, listen to me. One thing professional wrestlers take pride in is making it look very real. Very snug. But at the same time, taking care of their opponents. That's the science of fucking professional wrestling. That's what makes it hard to do. That's why you people can't do it. Dear God. Kenta Kobashi. One of the best ever. Dropping people on their heads for over a decade. Till the day he retired. But safe. Hard, physical, but safe. Do we all understand this? Everybody in Japan that does brainbusters, that does fucking, I don't know, drivers on the ground, they're all tough. And all that shit does take a toll on the body. But they are professional wrestlers, and they have the safety of the opponent in mind. You idiots. I hope we all understand that Jessica Andrade wasn't being stiff or snug. You understand this? She literally wanted to smash Rose's head and face through the fucking octagon. There is no safeness there. She wanted to fucking pick up Rose Namajunas and slam her through the goddamn octagon. She wants to really hurt this girl. Hurt for real. Dear God, it's like I'm talking to children. So internet wrestling community, congratulations. You've made me snap. God damn, that felt good. And we go from professional wrestling to boxing. We walk down the aisle, styling and profiling, to the boxing ring. And even though this happened a few weeks ago already, in the boxing world, everybody's still talking about Andy Ruiz dethroning Anthony Joshua. Recently, Andy Ruiz came out and says he wants $50 million if they're going to have the fucking rematch. Specifically because Eddie Hearn came out and said, and was insinuating a lot, that the rematch was going to happen in the UK. And Andy Ruiz said, I'm down with that, but you're paying me $50 million fucking dollars. Eddie Hearn didn't really react too much, said that negotiations have to happen, said that they have to talk, and it's understandable. These things don't happen overnight. I don't think they'll pay him $50 million. Is he worth $50 million? I don't know. I mean, now? Before the fight, probably not. But now? The waters are muddy. Who the fuck knows, right? Because the question is, does Anthony Joshua really need Andy Ruiz to keep being a boxing king? I don't know. Could it be possible that Joshua doesn't have the rematch with Ruiz and goes and fights somebody else and he will still be a big name? I don't know. Those are fucking very good questions. What a fighter would do, or what most people want to happen, is they want the rematch to make sure it wasn't a fluke. That's just the way it is. And they want the rematch to test Joshua because this guy is a test for Joshua. And quite frankly, Anthony Joshua's been a goddamn true sportsman this whole fucking time. Right now, he's at the bottom of the goddamn barrel in his career. His career is still flourishing. It's not like it's the end of the goddamn world, but that had to hurt. That loss had to hurt. He had British boxing on his goddamn shoulders that night, and he dropped it all. But he's been a goddamn sportsman the whole goddamn time. He's acknowledged Ruiz as a badass boxer who was simply better that night. And even though everyone is asking for him to switch trainers, to fight in the UK where he'd be more an advantage, with people saying he was always just a hype machine, through all of that, he still has the goddamn grace and decency to stay humble. You like him or not, it doesn't matter. You might not be a fan of his negotiating tactics. You might not be a fan of the fact that he's not fighting everybody you want him to fight, a la Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. But, he seems like a good sportsman, almost a role model, to be honest with you. There's nothing wrong with that. He went as far as to say, fuck it. Eddie Hearn wants to have this in the UK, but if Ruiz doesn't want to go to the UK, we're taking it back to fucking the United States. And Anthony Joshua said, I want it in the United States, and you know where I want it? I want it in Madison Square Garden. And I want it there again, because that's where shit went wrong, and that's where I'm going to right things. Hey, that's one hell of an attitude to have. Can't hate on the guy for having a good attitude, right? Or maybe you can these days, right? He needs to get in an accident, or maybe slap somebody out in public in order for him to win the fans' hearts. Here's another thing. Gervonta Davis versus Ricardo Nunes on July 27th, official, will be held in Baltimore. Gervonta Davis is someone that everybody likes to watch. I've watched a lot of his fights already. He's under that Mayweather banner. Like, Mayweather's really close to him. Mayweather already said that he thinks Gervonta is going to be almost like the next Mike Tyson at that weight. I mean, he is a little badass. He's undefeated. He's beat Liam Walsh. That guy was no joke. TKO. Jose Pedraza, TKO. Jesus Cellular, TKO. Hugo Ruiz, knockout. Cristobal Cruz, TKO. Guillermo Avila, TKO. He's entertaining to watch. And on the microphone, he's not the most elegant, but holy shit, it makes you want to watch him. I'll be tuning in. We'll see what they do with this guy. Mayweather works with them very closely, and that can't be a bad thing. That's for sure. Let's see. Tyson Fury elevated to number 1 in Ring Magazine rankings. Yeah, he is. I mean, some people say he is the rightful lineal champion. He didn't really lose the championships. He lost them to himself. He lost them due to, depression. And not to bring this up, but he also lost them to PEDs. Because there was some shady shit going on with PEDs over there at that time. But everybody seemed to forget that. But still, he is one of the baddest motherfuckers out there. And he quite possibly, out of Joshua, Wilder, and him, it hurts to say it because I'm a big Wilder fan, but Fury might be the best out of all of them. He's just got it going on. His last couple fights, oh my God, he's great. And he has a fight coming up here soon this week, I think. And that's pretty much going to be a showcase match, and it's always fun to see those. And we'll see what happens at the end of the year with all this shit. Oh, here's something. Everybody's shitting on Amir Khan. Shitting on Amir Khan because his opponent is Niraj Goyat. He's going to go fight in Saudi Arabia. And people are criticizing him for the opponent he has chosen. Hey, he's getting paid fat. And you know what? He deserves it. Who gives a fuck who his opponent is? As many years as this man has been in the game, let him do what he wants. He's been in wars throughout his career, and yes, has losses on his record because he fought them all. From Marcos Maidana to Canelo, Devin Alexander, Chris Algieri, Paulie Malignaggi. If he wants to make a giant payday, let him. The only stain on Khan's career is probably that he didn't fight Kell Brook when they were supposed to fight, when the fight talk for that match was insane. A fight that that a long time ago would have kind of been a passing of the torch versus the guy trying to keep a spot over in the UK. Kell Brook was trying to take that torch from Amir Khan, and Amir Khan didn't give him that opportunity. And it's very weird. I don't understand why. I wonder if it was money issues. I know Eddie Hearn was in the midst of it at one point, and they were very close to fighting. Kell Brook was knocking everybody out or winning every fight, and then Kell Brook decided to go up and wait. Golovkin smashed him, and he's had some bad luck. And I hope they still end up fighting. I hope that happens. I would still watch it, but I just feel it wasn't done at the right time when they should have done it. But for us boxing fans, we'll enjoy it. Now let's go to the boxing dirt sheets. We'll go to boxingnews24.com first. Oh, look at this. WBA and WBC wants Andy Ruiz Jr. versus Deontay Wilder unification match. An article by Tim Royner. Wow, that's pretty crazy. I mean, I think everybody would tune in to watch that fight just because now Ruiz has that fucking allure to him that anything could happen. And Wilder is just insane. You know he's going to go all out, balls out, and try to do what he did to Dominic Brazil. We'll see what happens. I know Anthony Joshua wants the rematch. Eddie Hearn wants the rematch. And Eddie Hearn said something about that if they can't get the rematch due to a sanctioning body or anything, that he would get legally involved. He would get lawyers involved or whatnot and go find a legal way to do it. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Boxing's crazy. I would love to see that fight, though. Let's see. Scrolling down. Anthony Durrell faces David Benavidez in late September. Keith Thurman working on his power for Manny Pacquiao. We talked about that. I don't think it's going to draw what they think it's going to draw. I hope it does. I hope these guys get paid, but we'll see what happens. It should be a good fight. Oh, look, Bob Arum talking about Tyson Fury. Bob Arum has a huge hard-on for Tyson Fury, and he should. He should have a fucking hard-on for Tyson Fury. You know, he compared him to a lot of the old boxers that he used to manage, and the one thing that they all had in common was they could box, but they had a mouthpiece. And that mouthpiece gets you super far, especially in this day and age, especially with the boxing now, with the fans changing. It's no longer as much about the smoky arenas with the old guys smoking cigars. It's turning into a little bit like mixed martial arts for the younger folk, and I like it. I like the evolution of it. Tyson Fury fits right up. There's a guy people can get behind. Sometimes he inspires you. You know, he's entertaining. He's a good boxer. All right, let's see here. We're going to go straight to I'm going to snap. Actually, we're not going to go to I'm going to snap yet. One more thing. I can't believe I forgot this. There was another fight this weekend in boxing. Triple G versus Steve Rolls. Triple G destroys Steve Rolls. Here, let me pull this up real quick, because I know De La Hoya had some comments. And that's the crazy part. So, Gennady Golovkin in Madison Square Garden knocks out Steve Rolls in the fourth and tries to get that Canelo trilogy going for September, which it will draw a lot of money, but it's all in Canelo's corner, or so we thought, until Oscar De La Hoya had some fucking thoughts on the whole situation. Here, I'll pull it up right now. Man, Oscar De La Hoya, what the hell happened is my question. Oscar De La Hoya, when he first started Golden Boy Promotions, I remember everybody thought it was going to be a good thing because Oscar De La Hoya was a boxer. He understands the problems that boxers probably go through. He can probably sympathize with the hardships of being a boxer. And we all thought he opened up Golden Boy, you know, to help out boxers. But man, throughout the years, he has turned so shady and just turned prickish at times. He's had wars with Dana White. You know, I don't think Oscar De La Hoya is in the right mindset to have wars with Dana White. Dana White will obliterate him. And Dana White did obliterate him. It's nuts. But De La Hoya put out a tweet after the Golovkin fight. Let's see if I can find it with my unorganized ass. Dear Lord. Well, anyways, the gist of it was here. Oscar De La Hoya, Triple G tweet. I want to read his exact words. I don't just want to fucking... Okay, here we go. Nice comeback win. This is Oscar De La Hoya. After the Triple G fight. Nice comeback win. Now fight a real fighter. Win a belt, and I'll consider doing the third fight. Just what the fuck? I love Canelo Alvarez. I will always tune into his pay-per-views. I believe the hype goes with the fighter with that guy. I believe he's a great fighter. But let's not act like he hasn't fucking run into trouble with some of these other people. Let's not act like some of these decisions haven't been a little weird. You understand what I'm saying? So why does Canelo have to act like they're so much above Triple G? I don't understand that. Canelo is a great fighter. The two fights they had were fucking weird. Because the first fight, Triple G versus Canelo, Triple G should have won that fight. Triple G should have won that fight, but they gave it to Canelo. And that was weird. And the second fight, Triple G versus Canelo, they called a draw, but it looked like Canelo won. It really looked like Canelo won. Being completely unbiased. And it just makes you wonder sometimes how corrupt this shit goes. And like I said, they think they're incredibly much more better than Triple G. Not just in skill, but just in the world of boxing itself. But like I said, let's not forget, there's been some shady ass shit going on. Do I need to say names like Erislandy Lara? Do we all remember Canelo versus Erislandy Lara? And how they gave it to fucking Canelo. Do we remember that? In a split decision? Because that was weird. That was weird as fuck. I don't understand why Triple G just gets treated like fucking shit in the boxing world. It blows my fucking mind. And now that I'm a little worked up, we're going to go straight to I'm going to snap. Boxing edition. Stephen A. Smith talking shit to Andy Ruiz after the Joshua fight. It's fucking unbelievable. It's unbelievable because this guy's supposed to be credible. And he's supposed to be a legit sports analyst. It's unbelievable. Here's what he says. Stephen A. Smith on Twitter. Oh my God. After the Anthony Joshua Ruiz fight. Sounds like he fucking lost some money. Oh my God. Oh my God. I cannot believe this shit. Anthony Joshua, holder of 3 belts, gets TKO'd by Butterbean. I mean, some dude named Andy Ruiz Jr. What a damn disgrace. Joshua looked completely gassed. More fatigued than hurt. Now, how in the hell did you let that happen? How? Oh, I'm sorry. How'd you let Andy Ruiz knock you out? I don't know. Because it's a competitive sport and shit happens, especially in a sport like boxing. Maybe that's why it happened. You idiot. Just what the fuck? Aren't you supposed to be a professional and not something like me just blabbing into a microphone? Don't you have some goddamn credentials that you say you're worth the shit when it comes to sports talk? First off, your fucking stupid ass assumes Ruiz won this via fluke. Hey, fuckface. It could have been the so many amateur fights he's had as a boxer. It couldn't have been that. Or maybe the fact that he's been in the boxing game for years on end. Or maybe the fact that he has resolve due to all the years in the gym, all the broken bones, all the sweat, and all the blood he sacrificed. Nah, couldn't be any of that, right? Because Stephen A. Smith, who is by far one of the worst guys I've ever heard talk about sports, doesn't think so. He thinks it was sad that Butterbean beat Joshua. Stephen A. Smith needs to get the fuck out of the combat sports business. He's a disgrace, and if he wants to go on rants like that and berate the athletes, then go to professional wrestling. Because that's all you are, Stephen A. Smith. An overhyped, only got into the business he's in because of his connections and not his talent, wrestling announcer wannabe. And here's the worst part, is he slithered his way into the MMA space now. Which, God, can we have a little bit of respect and get this asswipe off of TV? Congratulations, Stephen A. Smith. You made me snap. Dear Lord, sit there and just talk shit on a professional fighter who just won. What has Stephen A. Smith done, huh? And your college credentials don't fucking matter in sports, okay? Because you were never a pro at anything. You suck. Let's all calm down. And by all, I mean me. And we're going to go straight into the cage. The steel cage wrapped in barbed wire and electricity. No, just kidding. We're going to go straight into the fucking octagon, the UFC cage. It's always interesting over here in mixed martial arts. Recently, it came out that Khabib might be the highest paid athlete in the UFC right now. Not counting McGregor, because McGregor's not even fighting right now. I saw this article, which I'm going to pull up here real quick. Right here. Ali Abdelaziz came out and said that Khabib Nurmagomedov is now the highest paid athlete in UFC history. Khabib admitted that's probably a little over-exaggeration, but he said the UFC agreed to every demand he had, and that, quite frankly, he's in the top 3 contracts ever in the UFC. He's that good right now, being taken care of. He said that, this is what Ali Abdelaziz said. We're extremely happy. We're well taken care of. We can't ask for any better. We very grateful. Easiest negotiation I ever did. It was fair, straight to the point. This is one of the biggest deals in UFC history. I don't care, Conor McGregor. I don't care. This is one of the biggest guaranteed money contracts in UFC history. When you do this kind of deal, people normally burn bridges. The bridges only got stronger. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, fuck, Khabib deserves it. People can talk all the shit they want, but man, that guy's a beast right now, and there's no end in sight for his success. Not right now, there isn't. And people are pissed off, especially because of the whole Conor McGregor thing. And anytime they see Khabib, you know, they bring up Conor McGregor. So TMZ decided to ask Ali Abdelaziz about a Conor McGregor rematch. And here's what Ali Abdelaziz had to say. I'm going to play you guys the audio about what he had to say about giving Conor McGregor the rematch. Here's Ali Abdelaziz with TMZ.
And I know that McGregor was pushing for the fight. Was there any consideration on your guys' part about a rematch?
McGregor didn't beg enough. He didn't beg enough. You know, he faked a broken hand. He don't want to fight. He just, you know, he's an Instagram model, like I said before. You know, he want to keep himself relevant. He followed the Floyd Mayweather model. And he's not good as Floyd, but he almost there. But like I said, Khabib make it clear. He said he's going to change his face, he's going to change his mind. And you see him, he's like a crazy man.
There you go. McGregor didn't beg enough for a rematch. And what do you expect? You don't expect this guy to talk shit after Conor McGregor brought up his son, after Conor McGregor brought up his religion. And this isn't even Khabib I'm talking about. This is Ali. Ali had hella shit talked on him by McGregor. Where's Noah? Remember that? Does anybody remember that? Where's Noah? And now he's just firing back. People can't get pissed, right? If McGregor can do it, this guy can do it, especially because they won. These guys won. So it's crazy, but it all makes for entertaining ass mixed martial arts. As much as sometimes I don't like the shit talking when it's too fabricated, these real grudge matches, which this is a grudge match, these fucking Khabib, McGregor things that keep happening, this is all real as fuck. This Ali isn't going to do an angle with McGregor. And these are the ones I like. They're organic. And they're very real. Let's see here. Dana White wants Sage Northcutt and BJ Penn to retire. He said he's done booking BJ Penn for his sake. You know, for BJ Penn's sake. He's been on a fucking losing streak. It's been crazy with BJ Penn. But, you know, he's a true fighter. Someone needs to stop him, I guess. I'm no one to say. And he also wants Sage Northcutt to stop doing mixed martial arts after he got his fucking face impaled on Cosmo Alexander's fist. I don't know. When it comes to all this stuff, telling people to retire, I could understand the BJ Penn thing. I'm sure he loves BJ Penn. I wish there was a way to have like a veterans decision, as like Vitor Belfort said before. But I don't know, even if they did have a veterans division, how safe is that, since they are up there in age anyways in terms of brain health and your body? You know, and to leave it at this, speaking of Belfort, Vitor, 1FC, Chatri, please make the Roy Jones Jr. fight. Vitor Belfort versus Roy Jones Jr. I want to watch, even if it's the boxing match. It's entertaining as fuck. I don't care how out of their prime these guys are. I'd fucking pay to watch it. Let's please make that happen. And UFC 238 happened this past weekend. Well, it stole the show out of all the combat sports that were on. That was the show to watch, in my opinion. Tony Ferguson, Donald Cerrone, TKO round 2. Because Donald Cerrone's eye just blew the fuck up. It was a good fight. Tony Ferguson was dominating, kind of. Momentum was shifting his way. Somewhere along the lines, Tony was doing incredible amounts of damage to Cerrone's nose. Cerrone's nose looked broken. And he did the one thing that everybody was saying you don't do when you blow your nose. You don't do when you blow your nose. You don't do when you break your nose, and that's blow your nose. So he came out of the corner, and the first thing he did was blow his nose when his nose was broken. And that shit made his eye just swell up. That thing inflated so fast. It even freaked out Cowboy a little bit, you can tell. Which, I don't blame him. God damn. So they had to stop the fight. Tony Ferguson kept saying, I'm sorry, I didn't want to win this way. But it's like, bro, you did nothing wrong. Everybody saying that it was the hit after the bell got proved wrong already. There's already footage. It's already been discussed. The late hit after the bell meant nothing. That nose was fucked up during the round with Tony Ferguson going to work on it. And he should be sorry about absolutely nothing. He won that fight. He did that damage. Cerrone couldn't continue because of Tony. Because Tony was that good. So, that's the way the cookie crumbles with this shit. And we'll see what happens. Tony Ferguson is trying to move up the ranks. I think this is 13 or 12 straight that he's won in a row. That's insane. He was, back in the day, he was there with the Ultimate Fighter. He's been in the UFC for a very long time. And he wants to fight Khabib for the belt. But Khabib's busy at the moment with Dustin Poirier. So we'll see what happens. Next, we had knockout of the year so far. Valentina Shevchenko just fucking KOs Jessica Ai in round 2. Just insanity. The whole fight, she's kicking Jessica Ai on the body over and over again. Jessica Ai starts understanding that shit hurts. So she starts kind of putting her hands down to try to block the body kicks. And in the second round, Valentina Shevchenko must have seen that shit coming, and it looked like she was going to go for the body. Jessica Ai put her hands down, and instead, Shevchenko went to the head, and that was all she wrote. It was a vicious knockout. It left Jessica on the ground for a very long time. And it was funny because, well, that wasn't funny, but it was just so brutal. And they asked Shevchenko at the press conference, at the post-fight press conference, they said, what did you think about that? Did you worry a little bit about her after you knocked her out in that fashion? And she said, I can't worry about things like that, because if you don't do that kind of KO, that KO gets done to you. And ladies and gentlemen, that sums it up. It's fucking true. It's true, and it's the brutality of the sport that we all watch. We're glad that Jessica Ai's fine. She came out, said, hey, I got fucked up. It sucks that I'm on a highlight reel now, probably. But that's life, and I'm going to try to continue, and I'm going to try to get back up and go to work. But Shevchenko, like I said, nailed it on the dot. If you don't look for that KO is going to look for you. It's the way it goes. And then the main event, which was just fucking drama up the ass. It was wonderful. Henry Cejudo versus Marlon Moraes for bantamweights. Holy shit. Henry Cejudo is now a champ. Fight ended round 3 by KO/TKO. He fucked Marlon Moraes up, but not before Marlon fucked him up with those leg kicks over and over again. Cejudo had to overcome some goddamn adversity because he was losing, and midway through the fight, he switched game plans. He was able to adjust on the fly, came back and KOs Moraes. He called himself the pound-for-pound champion of the world, but pound-for-pound's rough. I get the feeling Dana White don't like him sometimes, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's this whole 125-pound talk. How Henry Cejudo keeps saying, like, why are you closing down the 125-pound division? Keep the 125-pound division open for all these families. Look at me. I'm winning everything. I have the 125-pound belt. I have the 135-pound belt. I have a fucking gold medal. I'm the champ. But we'll see what happens. Henry Cejudo's at the top of the game. Nikki Bella congratulated Henry Cejudo, just to put a little pro wrestling spin on it. Nikki Bella congratulated him, and Henry Cejudo came out on Ariel Helwani's MMA show and said, I'm good. I'm the triple champ now. That train has sailed. You're going to have to do a lot of begging to get with this guy as he's eating fries and shit. It was great. Anyways, good event. Tatiana Suarez left an impression. She's the one that everybody thinks is going to be a champ one day in the strawweight division. She sure seems like she will be. We'll see what happens with her. See what else we got here. Dana White had an interview about the release of Elias Theodoro and Willis. It was a little rough. I understand where Dana White's coming from. You can't keep everybody on the roster. But Elias Theodoro wasn't doing too shabby. It was kind of weird to cut him that way when he hadn't lost too much. But, they asked him. They said, so did you cut Elias Theodoro because he wasn't an exciting fighter? And Dana White kind of acknowledged that. And then the guy asked the question, so is this about being an exciting fighter or about winning fights? Is this like a sport or is it not a sport? And Dana White kind of just, went on a tangent about that stuff. I don't know. Here, let's hear some audio about this.
Elias Theodorou and Justin Willis were both recently released from the organization. Both of them were top 15 fighters, or at least, as of recently, top 15 fighters. What was the rationale for releasing these guys when they have, such winning records in the promotion?
Yeah, well, there's a ton of guys and girls that fight here. We have like 600 people on the roster, and there's always times when we release people, and they question, well, why were these people released?
See, and that's what I'm saying. He's saying that happens all the time, that it's like any other sport, people get cut. But it's weird to everybody how someone with kind of a decent record, maybe not the most exciting fights, but the decent freaking record, gets cut that way. Because you can't have both, can you? I guess that's what makes a pound-for-pound great, or that's what makes a superstar, is the fact that they can win fights and have a personality, have like a gimmick of some sort. Because his reasoning was Elias Theodoro wasn't really exciting. And his fights weren't the most exciting. And I know a lot of fans say, I pay a lot of money to watch these exciting fights. It's prize fighting. But you got to look at it through the point of the athlete. Either tell me to be entertaining or fucking tell me to win fights. Here's a little bit more of this clip.
When you say that, though, does that mean that you look at that from a promotional and entertainment standpoint, and that in order to stick around, you need to be entertaining? Because, the UFC wants to be considered one of the top sports. But can you really call yourself a sport if guys with 80% winning percentages are getting released from the organization, while people that have a 25% winning percentage get to stick around because they're more entertaining?
Yeah, I can.
But do you see what I'm saying, though?
I don't care, though.
Okay. So, but is it based on entertainment?
It's based on your fighting abilities. And while they might be decent fighters, they're never going to break into the top 5. They're never going to become world champions. And I need to free up spots on the roster.
That's so fucking rough. They're never going to become top 5. They're never going to become world champions. I get it. Some people have it. Some people don't. But goddamn, that's rough to hear that shit come out from your ex-boss. Live on fucking the internet that way. On Twitter for everybody to see. The guy asked some good questions, though. But what can you do? That's the game you sign up for. It's a rough fucking game. Rough. That was weird. All right, let's go to the dirt sheets. We'll go to MMAfighting.com. See if anything's happening. Oh, here's something that's happening. Thank God we came to the dirt sheets. Bellator 222 is happening at MSG. And it's goddamn, DAZN is killing it. They had Joshua Ruiz. That was on DAZN at MSG. The week after, they have Triple G Rolls. And that's at MSG. And now they're having Bellator 222 at MSG. That's 3 weeks in a row. They fucking running MSG. MSG is DAZN territory right now, it seems like. And Bellator 222 is going to be happening there. Some pretty good fights. It's a pretty stacked card, to be quite honest with you. Let me check this out real quick. Let's see if we can get their whole card. All right, here we go. For the prelims, which I don't watch the Bellator prelims as much. only sometimes, but I'll be watching Robson Gracie versus Oscar Vera. And if you guys follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook at HaveFunOTI, you'll see that the match that I'm incredibly excited about is Rina Kubota versus Lindsay Van Zant. Rina is from Ryzen. You know, Lindsay Van Zant's 4-1-0. Rina is 8-2-0. Rina came from a promotion called, I can't remember, it was like Shoot Boxing or something like that. And then she made her way to Ryzen, lost a few there, won a few there. Rina's the shit. She's a good fighter. She's got a good personality. It doesn't help that she's hot as hell. And she's got an 8-2-0 record, 5'3", 115 pounds. We'll see what happens. Hopefully she does well. She's on the prelim fight for this one. There's nothing wrong with that. You got to start somewhere. And there's no hating on her. Here, let's see here. Let's scroll down some more to the other prelims. And the main event for the prelims. Actually, is that the main event for the prelims? Dear Lord, even the prelims are fucking stacked. Rina's fighting. You know who else is fighting on the prelims? Aaron Pico is fighting Adam Borix in the prelims. Aaron Pico is a savage. He's very TJ Dillashaw-ish. Let's take a look at his record real quick, because I know I've seen a bunch of his knockouts, and I've seen him lose also. And even in loss, he came back stronger. He's inspirational. He makes you want to do shit. See, his last fight was a lost KO to Henry Corrales. That was in January. Before that, he had 3 fights in Bellator of all places in 2018 and 2 fights in 2017, all in Bellator. His professional career started in Bellator. That should tell you something. And the fact that his professional career started at such a high level, and he already has 4 knockouts to his fucking name, one of them an insane body punch, should say something about this guy. Prelims or not, I'm watching him. And then you have Heather Hardy versus Taylor Turner. Heather Hardy is a savage, whether it be the boxing ring or the MMA cage. I've seen her busted open, blood everywhere. That girl can fight. That's another prelim to watch. Let's see here. I think that's all for the prelims that are very attractive. And for the main card, it's just ridiculous. The hits just keep on coming. Eduardo Dantas versus Juan Archuleta is on the main card. Darian Caldwell versus Kyoji Horiguchi, which continues the Ryzen Bellator mixing, which is fucking awesome that they can do that. Rory McDonald versus Neiman Gracie in the World Grand Prix semifinals. Neiman Gracie doing the damn thing. He's getting a lot of attention. And, you know, rightfully so. He's been in the MMA business for a while. I'm looking here at his record. He had his first professional fight in World Series of Fighting back in 2013. He's undefeated. Mostly all almost all submissions except one fight, which went to decision. Roger Carroll at Bellator 151. Ed Ruth was his last win, December 15th, 2018. So not too long ago. That should be a sick fight. Rory McDonald, need we say more? Need we say more about Rory fucking McDonald? That guy's, his record speaks for itself. His fights speak for themselves. His last fight was a draw with John Fitch. Before that, he did lose to Gegard Mousasi in the middleweight, for the middleweight world belt. It is what it is. This is a stacked card. And then you add on Chael Sonnen versus Lyoto Machida. That's not too shabby. Chael Sonnen taking like a different approach to promoting this fight, being more calm, nicer, not as disrespectful. And today I read an article where Lyoto Machida is saying, "What the fuck are you doing? I want you to be loud. I want you to be disrespectful. I want you to promote the fight." That was all Lyoto Machida was saying, which is crazy because you would figure Lyoto Machida was into not talking shit. But he knows, it's a business too, right? You want to get those views. Chael Sonnen is trying to somehow, some way find his way to a title shot. He was doing, I don't know if it was on his podcast or a different interview. He was talking about that before his father died, he promised him a world title and he's never had it. He's come close, but he's never had one. And that when he feels he can't get a world title is when he'll retire. And here's the random one of the card, which is just weird because everybody wants to watch this guy get beat up. Dylan Dennis versus Max Humphrey. Dylan Dennis is just crazy. He hangs around Conor McGregor, so he takes a page out of Conor McGregor's book. He doesn't act like Conor McGregor, but he's his own style of trolling. He's like a big giant troll. At the, I think it was like the press conference or the weigh-ins. No, it was a press conference. He came out with 2 belts, and it is what it is. He's trying to make a name for himself in Bellator. He's trying to get noticed. Can't blame the guy. UFC 242 press conference. I watched that. One of the things Khabib said was if he wanted to be at that press conference was that if he wanted to be pound for pound king, he feels he's got to be Dustin Poirier, Tony Ferguson, and GSP. Those 3 fights, you can't ask for better fights. You can't ask for better fights than that. Those are all elite premium fights. They're worth the pay-per-view, I'll tell you that much, for those guys. Anyways, I think we're coming to an end of the podcast. So we're going to end this thing with I'm Gonna Snap MMA edition. So let's see here. Get myself organized. Every time I get an I'm Gonna Snap from the underground, because this one comes from an underground thread, it's weird to me because I bookmarked the page so I could, quote these people that are talking shit. And the underground is so spontaneous and so random that I feel like sometimes I'm going to click on it in the middle of the air like I'm doing now, and it's not going to work. It's going to say something like, forum not working. Because, God, it does that a lot. But anyways, I'm Gonna Snap, Mixed Martial Arts Edition. And this one's about Megan Anderson's loss to Felicia Spencer. This happened a while back. Megan Anderson, everybody says, got exposed because of her ground game. And there was an undergrounder named Tequila Yen. And Tequila Yen is such a peach. Probably great at parties. She just decided that she didn't like Megan Anderson for some reason. And no one understands why. She says that Megan Anderson probably talks shit. I don't know what the deal is, but this person is fucking a psychopath. Right off the bat, as soon as the match starts, and mind you, the fucking fight is like 1 round. Do we understand this, correct? The fight is 1 round, and Tequila Yen says 1 round in, which probably means a minute or 2 in, can't get over how much this fight sucks. Tequila Yen, 30 seconds into the fight, can't get over how much this fight sucks. God damn, so already hating right off the bat, you piece of shit. Then she goes on to say her grappling is garbage. Because Tequila Yen obviously, knows enough to tell somebody in the UFC how to grapple. We all know how that goes, right? Of course, Tequila Sen says that Megan Anderson's fucking grappling is garbage. So that means that it is garbage. And then she goes on. He, I don't know what it is. It goes on, and this is where it starts pissing me off. It's crazy how delusional Megan has been in interviews, talking about being a title contender. Meanwhile, she has this massive gaping hole in her game. I'm sorry. She's delusional for calling for a title shot? What? In the biggest fucking opportunity of her life, she has a microphone in her face in front of the biggest audience of her life, working for the biggest MMA company on the planet. And what is she supposed to do? Call out somebody on the prelims? Huh? Is that what she's supposed to do? Start calling out and telling Dana White, hey, Dana White, after this loss or after this victory, I want to go to the prelims. Huh? That's what makes her delusional? You idiot. Meanwhile, she has this massive gaping hole in her game. Why is she calling out champions? Oh, I don't know, because she wants to further her career? God damn. Then she goes on to think that Megan was calling out Nunes delusional. Hey, this is the second time she or he or whatever has used delusional. Are you projecting here? Because that's what I'm getting from this. You're delusional. You keep saying delusional. And then someone says, wait a minute. Megan Anderson versus Amanda Nunes, that would be fun to watch. And of course, douchebag has to respond. Why? It would be utterly one-sided, as Megan's UFC performances to date have shown. Yeah, it would be utterly lopsided. Because you know that Oh my God. As a matter of fact, you don't know. That's the problem. You don't know that styles make fights. You fucking moron. Every fight, doesn't matter who she fights, it's going to be different. Give me a fucking break with these people. Just on and on and on. Then tries to get all personal about if Megan has an account here on the underground forums. What the fuck? That's just creepy. You're being fucking creepy. Like, why do you care if she does have an account here and doesn't want to admit that it's her? Why do you care? Why are you so sucked into her life, but all you do is talk shit? And of course, once Megan Anderson loses, she puts up, her opponent, Spencer, puts up a gif of her saying, yeah, I won. Just reveling in someone's loss. Just the same way that everybody revels in Tequila Yen's losses every day in life. Tequila Yen, congratulations. You made me snap. I didn't even have the energy to snap on you. You're a disgrace. Stop watching MMA. You're disgusting. And ladies and gentlemen, you're not disgusting. You're pretty and smell great. And with that being said, this has been Have Fun on the Indies. I'm your host, Abe. I hope you enjoyed the show. Tune in next week, especially for I'm Gonna Snap Pro Wrestling Edition. I love you guys. I'm Abe. Have fun on the Indies.